Hello, everyone. I am Rox Levi. Thank you for tuning in to the Wizarding World Circle of Fate, Episode 8.
Nice. And to kick off the vlog, I had made ice cream, homemade butterbeer ice cream. All of the ingredients, including the butterscotch, was made completely from scratch. And the texture, I hope, is very good.
Jordan, look at this. Look how good this looks.
Will I get some in my room?
Yeah. Yes, your private room, your private quarters.
Thank you.
We'll send Ellis with a bowl.
It's so good.
So yeah, the in-person session.
I need to know more about Dragon Age being fan fiction. As a character, I can't believe that Toby wrote the first session of Dragon Age.
He wrote it.
I can't believe the Dragon Age campaigns are fan fiction. Like, in the Hogverse, like, because they are fan fiction, but like,
Just so we find out what ours is.
So I was going to
like, guys, that's the biggest bombshell so far. Just saying.
So I told AJ and Brandon yesterday that one of the things that's been super helpful for me is actually setting up the timelines, because I put up the timeline of every single campaign I've done so far and how they line up with each other, which is important for the crossovers. And since the crossovers, just as an FYI, I don't think it's a spoiler, because by this point everybody knows that there's no crossover. The crossover for this campaign is going to take place in Act 2, which is 20 years from now. So this is taking place 20 years before the crossover, which means that if you are looking at the timelines, technically speaking in the timeline, this campaign is happening several years before the time that the Dragon Age campaign starts, before Season 1 starts. So
this is like as some of the origin stories are happening, is pretty much like when we are.
Or maybe Toby has some kind of inner eye ability and he's seeing
So like, here was my theory, right? So if you remember in the like little teaser that Jay did with like he opened books. So all of these campaigns happen out of books.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
And one guy who's got all the books, he makes the crossovers happen.
Who are we talking about?
Shay is one of the players from Pokemon.
Right.
You know,
I thought you said
Chase.
Jay.
Shay. Yeah.
Remember that in the letter we got from Philip, Fate was written with a capital F, as in a person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fate is a person, guys.
Fate is the character who has all the books. And yeah, but I reckon he's got like agents from every, like, there is a characters in every universe that also contribute to the crossovers kind of thing. Like Anna Silva and things like that. She kind of has an inkling to what's going on, or is able to bridge the gap, or works for him or something. I don't know, because she's in Pokemon too. So like,
yeah, that's right.
What's going on?
To give some background. So the very first campaign that I ever did for my channel was Dragon Age Season 1, and when I was very new to GMing that particular setting. And I played Dragon Age and I knew a lot of the lore, but sometimes I don't get the lore quite right. So in that campaign, I had characters who had two separate races that ended up having children, like Kunari. I had like half Kunari or half elves or half dwarves. And somebody corrected me in the comment section that they said technically in Dragon Age lore, the races can't really, like, if you mix like a human with the Kunari, you can't really have a half Kunari. That apparently is not.
I mean, Morrigan's Kieran can be half dwarf.
Yeah, True.
It's often like theorized that Sandal is half elf. Like,
right.
So,
Yeah.
but most of it's theory.
More specifically, you can have two separate races create a mixed child. It's just that the child ends up being predominantly one specific race and not necessarily physically a mix between the two races. For example, a half-elf pretty much looks completely human. Or in Sandal's case, if the rumors are true, a dwarf mixed with an elf pretty much looks like a dwarf. So in my campaign, I had created characters that did share half features with one race and half features with another race. And that's what I had been told was not accurate strictly to the lore.
Yeah, so what I said was, thank you for letting me know. I try to get things as accurate as possible, but I don't always get it perfect. So then later on I thought, well, what if I had a way to explain why in this particular version of Dragon Age you could have both. So I think it was in Dragon Age Season 2 when it was brought up again. And then I told the players in another vlog, I told people in that vlog that I do have an explanation on why, you can have half elves and half Qunari in this setting of Dragon Age, but you probably will not learn the reason for that until a future campaign. So now...
Kirby wrote a fanfic. That's the reason.
Now I think we've come to that point. The explanation as to why that's... Because, as I said in the session proper, the events of this campaign, if you line them up with the timelines of the other campaigns, of the Mass Effect and the Dragon Age and the Pokemon campaign, this current campaign actually takes place before the Dragon Age Season 1 campaign started. Actually, before any of the other campaigns started.
I figured that was the case, because Dragon Age Origins.
So you guys are way back in the past, technically, in the timeline before any of the previous campaigns I have ever done. And then when we do the 20-year jump, we will be back to the present. So, that's what I will say about that particular thing.
Dude, I'm so, floored. Can't wait for Hugfest Infinity War.
Yeah, me neither.
Is Felix JoJo's auditioned character?
Felix Underwood is the character that JoJo auditioned with. Yes, that is correct.
I thought so.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, because his name's super familiar, and I was like, oh, that is one of the characters, but I couldn't remember who auditioned with him.
3 Felixes.
There were 2, I think. I think there was another Felix.
Yeah, there were 2.
There were 2.
Yeah. Mike had a Felix as well.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I even think Sam... Yeah, and I even think Sam had a Felix too.
Yeah, there was 3 Felix.
Really?
Yeah.
Was he also Felix?
There was 2 Felixes.
I didn't know. I forgot his name was Felix. All right. Well, there were 3 Felixes. Well, this was Felix Underwood, which is JoJo's character. Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
And oh my god, Anna... And I knew the whole time.
You knew that?
You knew?
How dare
What
you?
What did you know?
That Anna and... Or at least that was the impression I got. That Roxana already knew about that Anna was actually with her brother.
With Alex. And that's Levi's ex. That's...
Anastasia. You know Anastasia? Oh.
Yeah, Anastasia.
That's how I know Anastasia. Oh my god.
That's insane. And I was shocked at it. Because you started describing the medallion, and I was like, wait.
As you started describing the locket, I was like, oh my god, no, really, no. Seriously, no. And then
that's very similar. And then when he was like, yeah, Anna wouldn't like it. I was like, no!
Oh yeah, Anna from camp. From camp. Yeah.
So that's mind-blowing.
Mm-hmm.
But Levi doesn't know about it yet, or he'd be really upset. So
he's got Chessa now.
But here's the messed up part. She knew the whole time. That's the implication. She knew the whole time.
Yeah, because you said, oh yeah, because in the sleepover you're like, oh, she's seeing somebody else. You knew she was with somebody else, and left out it was your brother.
Yeah. Oh, that's juicy as hell. Do you reckon? Do you reckon Levi would be mad?
Yes.
Why? He has a,
Yeah, you
he has
have to
a
that.
girlfriend
Yeah,
now.
you got a new one.
Yeah. Well, I wanted to speak to Chessa before the game started, but we were already kind of crunched on time.
Alright.
So
I thought that the parallels between Juan and Levi having the conversations with Aika and Finn were interesting.
yeah,
Juan was very much like, you better not hurt Roxy, and Levi was very much, you better not hurt Albion.
yeah. 'Cause originally, my thought was to do that for Rox as well to Aika, but since Juan had already done it, I didn't want to take away from his moment. And I was like, well, Al's more Levi's friend, I think, than the other two. So it made more sense for me to want to have Al's back. But it's just it's tough because Finn's like a nice guy, so it was like hard to be like, don't hurt him.
Well,
but
a
I was
nice
like,
guy
I'll
who-
still say it anyways.
Who like who paled you?
I was actually begging for it, so
I do think everyone already kind of made it clear to Roxy anyway that like this is a weird thing that's happening.
yeah.
Like Levi did like give the impression like this is moving really quickly, and she's like, oh, nothing's moving, nothing's happening. Next minute, making out.
First kiss of the campaign.
It's
Yeah.
fine. Nothing's happening.
It's fine.
Yeah, it was good. Me and AJ, since we're here in person and we can talk to each other right next to each other, we were saying to each other that this may be our favorite session so far, just with everything that happened. Like, a lot of like the friendship building and like people building was in the beginning, and then it got like interesting and really fun at the end with like, and it's like the story is like coming to an end. Like you could tell the strings were getting, you know, sewed together at the end to be like, this is it. We're heading towards the end.
Yeah. When the letter with Felix and Anna Silva and her cryptic messages to Levi, like, this is all going to come into play later for sure.
Yeah.
Oh really? Has she said some cryptic things? Oh really?
My
Wrote them
favorite
down.
part is that he started taking notes for me. I started laughing. I couldn't handle it.
Maybe it'll help us in the temple, like maybe with the different traps.
Maybe if Levi remembers it when it comes up, I don't know.
Yeah, because Al can't, out of character, I can't remind you, so.
Yeah, you can't tell me. But I love the switching bodies. That was the best.
The what?
The switching bodies.
Oh my
Yes.
god. It's
That,
so
yeah.
just
funny.
that whole scene, like you just the visuals of it was so funny.
When I first started GMing in general, like not online, just with my friends in person, and that was like, gosh, 15 years ago or something ridiculous. I did D&D, and one of the sessions that we did was when I had all the characters switch bodies, and that was by far like everybody's favorite session, was when we did the switches bodies thing. So then I sort of repeated that with other campaigns, and then I realized I had never done it with any of my online campaigns on my channel. I thought, I gotta use this for something. And you had mentioned it, and I was like, yeah, I really want to do it for this group, because I feel like they would have fun with it. And I figured for a Harry Potter Wizarding World, like that was perfect for me to do it.
My
And so-
fingers were crossed that I became Rox. I was like, please let me be Rox.
I heard him say it under his breath, like as soon as you announced the first person, he's like, I hope I'm Rox.
Yeah.
I wanted to be Rox so bad. It was just funniest because I'm still Levi in Rox's body, so it's so funny to me.
Yeah.
Were your picks purposeful of who was who, or was it
Yeah.
just random? Okay.
Yeah, it was purposeful. I wanted to try to mix people up in bodies that was totally different from themselves physically. Like, one, I thought putting him in Levi would be really interesting, and putting Levi in Roxana is interesting, putting Roxanne in Albion, and so forth. So,
It would have been a little crazier to me if Al was Levi, because then he's like super athletic,
Yeah.
super good vision, like my spots +5. Like, it'd be weird. Like physically, you're way better, but now you're like your intelligence goes down so much.
Because
Yeah.
like, I think like with Roxana, it's especially funny because she's very gun ho, very physical. So it's like her punching Levi, like she can't really do that as Al because he just falls
She was
over.
trying to sneak by the bees and falls, critically fails.
Albion, you need to work out. There were so many quotables
Oh,
during
there
that.
were so many good quotes.
Albion, water. What was it? Albion, water.
He goes, Roxy, water.
Water! You need to work out more. Plants aren't heavy.
Plants aren't heavy.
It was so good. I was just gonna say the second.
Oh, the ships. Yeah.
Ships. I feel like the ships have kind of are off. like who people are with now may be who we end this first half with.
This
Yeah, I
train has
think
left the
they
station.
are off, and they're not coming back.
Yeah, they left port. It's over. But I just wanted to say, when I became Rox, as soon as I was like, I started to pick up that he was going to start switching us, because he was like, you wake up and you feel different. I was like, we switched bodies. I was so excited. I was like, I hope I'm Rox. Because my whole idea was, as soon as I became Rox, was to find her knife and cut her clothes. And make them shorter.
Okay, wow.
She's mortified. No, I'm serious. Like, I am gonna kick your ass.
I'm ready for it.
I'm gonna, as soon as I get back, I'm gonna use that quick draw and your ass grass.
No, I'm gonna freaking mage food knock that out of the way, so go ahead.
I'm gonna crucio you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'll go down well.
So did anyone else think Asa's robes were going to turn silver?
I thought they were gonna turn
I thought they
silver.
were going to turn white.
Well, at first I thought silver, then when I saw your face, I was like, oh, it's not good. So I thought white, but then when it went to orange, I was honestly shocked.
I thought they were gonna go silver because, spoiler, we kind of talked about that kind of yesterday on the train. So like we were like, oh, wouldn't it be cool if now that she's not worried about Al anymore, she gets better. And so when you started talking about changing the robes, I thought you were gonna go with it. I was like, oh, that's cool, he's going with it. And then it's like, oh no, it's worse. It was good.
I was excited because, like, Al would have been genuinely happy for her, and I thought that could, like, bond them a little bit. And I fully expected her not to want to talk to Al, even though he wasn't going to give up on that.
Yeah.
So.
I was expecting Al to chase her out of the classroom.
Well, like I said, I was going to try to cause a distraction so that I could kind of go over to her, but then it just happened so quickly, so I just went with what we had.
Yeah, I don't think a distraction would have.
Yeah.
Because it would have been too late. People would have observed the robes changing. It would have been too late by that point. So.
But yeah, I mean, once Hideo kind of took charge, Al just went with it. He was stunned too, I think. So.
It was a brief thing, but I was happy that there was a scene where you could show Senpai Albion, because I know that's part of your character, and I wanted to do more with Senpai Albion, but I just hasn't been able to do that. So this was a small opportunity to get a glimpse as to what it's like for you being a prefect, like using that side of your status at school. And it looked like students respected you. So.
Well, I was happy that, and I think that's very cultural too, for the most part, that once someone's put in an authority position, no matter what rank it is, if they're above you, like, you respect them. So that was nice that he didn't have to, like, fight with them to have them calm down and stop talking about it.
Yeah.
I also thought Al was going to get caught writing the letter.
So did I.
Once
100%.
it went to the headmistress, I was like, oh shoot.
It would have.
If it was magic.
If it was magical, she would have been able to trace it back.
Yeah.
But because you decided not to use magic and you had a high enough, like, disguise roll, there really was hardly any. It was not easy for her to figure out whose handwriting that was. So that was what saved you. Had she caught you, then there would have been a scene where they would have, like, called you into her office. They would have asked you questions. Depending on how that would have worked out, they could have learned about the hoops, asked to see the hoops, confiscated the hoops. So a lot of that would have happened.
And we know now we can't trust the ministry.
Right.
Been saying it since the beginning.
Yeah, no, I totally agree, but Rox is like...
Yeah.
But oh my god, all those bombs that Alec just dropped. Every time they talk, he's just like, hey, this happened, and she's like, for fuck's sake,
Yeah.
why can't you be normal?
Why can't my family be normal?
Natasha was great.
Natasha.
Yeah,
Oh,
that
I
scene
was
was
gonna
great.
ask-
Natasha.
If Rox didn't ask Natasha to go, was she gonna end up there anyways?
No.
No? Oh.
I had zero plan for Natasha to be there. The only reason she was there was because Jordan had Roxana invite her. That was the only reason.
Then I gotta applaud you on your performance because how well you did. I thought you had that plan the whole time.
No.
It was really good.
I had to think really quickly, like, as soon as I knew that Roxana was coming, I had to think really quickly how she would act and what really she feels about her dad and her brother. And as soon as I just thought about it, I was like, this makes total sense. This is how what she would say, because I think she recognizes that she's a mess, and I think as a child, she wanted boundaries, and maybe some of the reasons why she was acting out was because she was hoping her dad would lay boundaries, and he never did.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they just let her do whatever, and that's the problem with kids. It's like they act like a lot of times they're acting up because they're testing their parents. And if they don't, like, seem to care enough to lay boundaries on them, they feel like, well, I guess if my parents don't care enough, I'm just going to do whatever I want. I'm just going to do whatever I want. And I think that finally has caught up to her.
There's something kind of really, really sad about the thought of a lonely little girl just constantly acting up, like thinking, lay some boundaries, and he was always, off doing something and never gave her the attention.
She wants a dad. She wants her dad to be a dad, and he just failed. He just failed to give that to her, and that's another reason why she hates him. She hates him so much.
Yeah, and because I thought we'd see Bartholomew this session, but it's really ramping up to see him now. Like, there's so much more at stake now.
Yeah, because I thought that scene was going to happen. Is you guys going to Azkaban today?
So I'm curious with the letter. I know, like, would that have ended up saving Tritessa's mom? Or maybe you can't tell us, but like at least put Tritessa on the lookout for her mom.
Well, I can't answer the first one, unfortunately.
All right.
But your second question was, would it put her on the lookout?
I mean, I think it definitely helped.
Yeah, it definitely helped, because I think that, I think having Tritessa's radar on is helpful now at this point.
I think if Tritessa would have found Al and questioned him, he would have been honest, because he wanted to tell her in the first place.
Yeah.
He only went with the note because it was like a split decision.
Yeah, Levi wanted to tell her.
Yeah.
I think she would have appreciated that.
Yeah.
But because you didn't do that, there was some very rare Tritessa banter that we haven't really seen except for that one time when she was asking Juan about the favor. So that was good, that there was a little bit of a interaction there that we don't really get to see very much.
The conversation with Finn, I like that because,
Which one?
The one where he told them,
told Albion?
Yeah, don't hurt Albion or I'll hurt you. That one.
So
that Levi had with Albion.
Apologize.
Finn. Levi with Finn.
Yeah.
All right.
Yes, yes. I like that happened because, I just wanted to show that, Levi cares for Al a lot. And it's not just, a friendship. It's more like a brother thing right now. And,
sweet.
yeah. And so, I liked his reaction to it, too. Or it was I will not hurt him. If I do, you can have my trident.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah, Finn, I don't know if this was noticeable, but I was purposely making Finn's reaction to that conversation be different from Aika's reaction to Juan.
That's why I like that, how different it was.
They both took what they said very seriously, but Finn was way more responsive and was like, I will never hurt Albion, and if I do, I will, like you said. Whereas Aika, his reaction was more of, it hurt him, I guess. Because he didn't say yes, no, he just said okay. Because I feel like he just felt a little bit hurt that Juan, who I think he does like and he does respect, and he feels like Juan is normally a very trusting person.
So.
And having Juan talk to him in that way, which it's understandable. Like if given Aika's track record and how close Juan is to Roxanne, I totally understand it. But yeah, purposely I wanted their reactions to be
No, yeah, the way it was done, and then like I like the way, because it was weird because Juan seemed more respectful, like don't hurt her, this, and Aika seemed to be hurt by it, whereas Levi was more threatening, but Finn was like, yeah, you're right. Like,
Yeah.
So yeah, it was just like a nice contrast, even though it was almost the same conversation.
Yeah.
And the more I thought about what Finn said to Albion about like being scared of him, I think Al is a little like, that made him a little apprehensive, but I think he knows Finn wouldn't do anything on purpose. But I think it definitely caught Al off guard, and he didn't want to put that out there because he knew Finn didn't need to hear that. Like he knew he had to try to appease him a little bit or like, you know, bring him down, so he didn't say that. But I think deep down there's a little bit of, wow, like that was intense.
Do you think?
Yeah, at least a little bit of nervousness going like, okay.
Yeah.
Do you think Albion would ever tell him that, or you don't think it's necessary?
I think if they get closer and Al figures out how to tell Finn that without hurting him, he would.
Okay.
But I think right now it's so small, and I don't think Al really realizes he's afraid, or he was afraid in a way, but I think he's grasping onto the fact that he really does think, oh wow, this guy's a good guy, and I think he seems very genuine. So that's what he's focused on.
Guys, I just had like a crazy thought just now. Like, what if Finn gets in like really big trouble and he tries to summon Al to help him and rocks as Al goes?
Yeah, that's true.
And you just like, you pop up in front like, oh, what? Oh no.
Because it's tied to the bracelet. So
Yeah, it
the
is tied
bracelet's
to the
on
bracelet. The bracelet's on Rox.
Roxy's
Yeah.
soul, my body, then her
Yeah.
soul.
And the thing is, Finn would know
He
that
would
if he
know,
called
Because
out.
he's not. Which team? Yeah, he's not on the team.
So
that
he
gets
doesn't
the
know
potion.
what he doesn't know what the potion does.
Oh.
He does. I don't think Pukwudgie ever figured out what your potion did.
Yeah, because it wasn't, we didn't, like, our brains just switched bodies. It wasn't like our body changed into
Right.
the other body.
I think they were also just distracted from trying to figure out what their potion did.
Yeah.
So they were not really paying attention to what you guys were saying to each other. So I don't think any of them honestly knows that you
They
switched
wouldn't
bodies.
know, yeah. So Finn's gonna be teleporting rocks as Al, hoping for help, and she doesn't know nothing. She just stands there like, I know the water smell. Like,
I don't know what else he does.
you know, Entangle, you gotta try to, like, because he casted, you casted Water and Entangle as him, and Bellfire, I believe.
Fire, yeah.
So you got those 3 spells on lock.
And the severing spell.
Yes.
I know he
Yeah.
has that.
I think that potion though that we took must like that seems like a really high level potion. Like to switch people's like cognitive awareness between bodies.
Not
Like,
gonna eat
That's
good
like-
level.
yeah, master level.
That's really
potion
strong.
making.
Yeah, that's a really powerful spell.
Also,
What if
with
that's their secret or
Polyjuice requires a piece of the person. I wonder if this spell requires some sort of like physical part of the person so that you know who you're switching into.
I think it's the house secret.
Maybe.
Because this is like powerful stuff.
But I wonder if he had to collect stuff from each of us and we didn't realize it. Like, what
Well,
was
if he
in
did, he
there?
stole my stuff. And I don't think I've ever had a conversation with Aika, so.
Sort of going back to Albion, I also wanted to have the scene with the dad with the shotgun chat with Finn as well.
Mm-hmm.
But like I said, I didn't want to take away from Levi's moment. Plus, I don't think Roxana would feel the need to with Finn. I think seen as after Levi when she pushed him into the dirt, I think he's completely clear on where he stands in terms of her friends.
Yeah.
So like, yeah.
The other thing I was thinking about is my boy Chance, man.
Oh yeah, I like that moment, Chance and Levi.
There was like I feel like I said, this is like pinnacle Levi, like something great will happen followed by something awful in the same scene. It seems like every time. So like in the beginning we were talking like, yeah, you
About
should,
the future.
like you can be a lawyer, you're a good talker, like, and then like he was like, well, anybody respect me? Like that's what you could fight for, like that's what you can work for, is to get more respect for your kind.
And again, before before we had that conversation, I wasn't even thinking about half the things Chance was saying about his worries about, well, I'm not going to be noticed as a being anymore. And at school, I can kind of be myself, but he doesn't want to graduate because he actually is treated like a person here. And so I didn't think about that at all until we started talking. I was like, oh yeah, this is definitely would be something that Chance is afraid of. And so I think that's one of his biggest fears right now is what's going to happen to him after school, because he's like, this is what he's got. This is all he's got right now.
Yeah, and so hopefully I altered some of his future. Like, I'd like to come back in 20 years and like he's like fighting for like leprechaun rights, elf rights and stuff.
Right. Yeah, that'll be interesting.
We'll see how that works.
Yeah.
But then her accidentally told him about Al.
Yes.
That's the part that broke my heart, because I was like, oh no, I've been doing so
catch
good.
It. Like, that wasn't what worried me. I was like, oh, you're gonna break his heart about Finn.
I was so upset because I've tried really hard, because like as Levi I just talk, and I like when it came to Al, I tried really hard to not bring that up at all. But with Chance there, I completely forgot.
Well, even before you dropped that on Chance, my plan was for Chance to ask Finn, like he was gonna invite Finn. Oh, Finn, what are you doing for dinner tonight? Do you want to go out? And Finn would have at that point said, oh, I'm sorry, Chance, I've got dinner plans tonight. And then they would have gotten into a little bit of a back and forth, and that was Chance was gonna find out somehow. But I like it better this way. I like it better that Levi says something and Chance is like, oh.
Yeah, then I felt so bad for him after that. Like, it's just, I don't know. Like, I have been kind of putting Chance to the back burner a little bit.
Yeah,
like,
and I think he approached you, he confronted you about that.
Yeah.
That you sort of have been neglecting him a little bit.
I kind of noticed it with the last session when we had our conversation a little bit. It was like Chess and him.
Yeah.
And then he was like upset, and I was like, I haven't been talking to him a lot. Like, as much as like we used to. And then when he confronted me about it, I was like, you're totally right. I'm sorry. Like,
I think another big thing was Toby finding out about the hoops.
Oh
Toby,
finding out about the hoops and that we have more, and then he's like on the look to help and pillow talk.
And pillow talk, yes.
That's the name of that episode.
Pillow talk. Yeah, there we go. Pillow talk.
Levi makes everyone so uncomfortable.
What was that? Levi makes everybody so uncomfortable?
Yeah.
He's just talking.
Yeah.
Levi's the way that if we need to figure out a way to progress a plot, we just leave it to Levi. He'll like awkwardly throw it out there.
Yeah, like, oh, we need to get in there somehow. Hey guys, can we get in there? But,
aspiring authors always have a Levi in your plot. Makes writing a lot easier.
Yeah, but
Do we think we made the best decision between the Tebow and the temple?
look,
what are the pros and cons of each?
Okay, because I'm really
Probably
nervous
not.
because Hark does a lot of things where like he'll tell you, like foreshadow. He foreshadowed we needed to go here. He gave us a note. He told us the thing, the story. So it leads me to believe that not going to the Tebow is really gonna cost us more than just the competition. Something's bad's gonna happen.
Well, it's probably more dangerous too.
Probably more dangerous. Maybe we could have died. I don't know. I don't know what's gonna happen.
I full-heartedly agree with that, and here's why. Did nobody else feel like this episode had a little bit of finality to it?
Yeah.
It's like we were tying up loose ends, because I think this is the stage in the game where you can start, your character's actually at risk now. This is the stage where it happens
Right now.
Like
If one of us died the next session, I wouldn't be shocked, because like this is these next like 3. If any of us die, it's going to be in these next 3. Or if anybody we love is going to die, it's in this next 3.
Yeah, I totally agree.
And the way
and like the thing is, like, if it's one of the PCs, what's going to happen with the potion? Like, do they just switch straight as soon as one dies?
Oh, I don't know.
Or what if there's a targeted person and they target the wrong person?
Oh, they're looking for rocks.
Like,
I'm dead.
Yeah, if they're targeting Roxy and they kill Levi instead, like that could be very interesting.
Yeah, because they kill the body, but not the brain in the body. So I'm wondering if it's like, what would happen if they killed Roxy? It's just like their brain switched straight back, and Levi goes straight back into his body, and then Roxy's dead, kind of thing.
Maybe. I don't know how it works, but
my understanding of I think AJ actually said this earlier. My understanding of how the killing curse works is it literally rips the soul from the body.
mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So given that information, take that as you will, as to what would happen.
Rip the soul from the body.
So
You can go back to your body, but just that soul got ripped to it.
So if they were to target Roxy's body, thinking it was Roxy, it would actually rip
The
Levi's soul.
My soul. So when your soul eventually goes back to your body, your dead body, but your soul's not in there bringing your body back to life.
Yeah.
I don't know. It can get messy.
Well,
Let's just hope none of us die.
I'm really nervous about the choice we made because, like, Hart made it pretty obvious we need to go to the temple, which leads me to believe, like, we thought we made the right decision, and so that decision is really going to hurt us. Because it seems like an easy decision. Like, yeah, we're going to the temple. Like, so we lose the competition. Who cares? Or, like,
There are bigger things at stake.
Yeah.
But if it's truly fate, then maybe we would have ended at the temple anyways.
Who knows? Maybe we could have helped before going back to the temple. Who knows? Done something before going back to the temple. Because, like, the temple doesn't disappear in minutes. We could have went, saw what was going on, and came
I think if we didn't go after the temple, we missed that chance at least.
Maybe. Who knows? We'll never know. We made our choice. Now when Toby gets speared to death by a boar.
Well, then we'll know. Oh my god! And bringing Aika, he like knew exactly what would like rip our team apart. He's like completely switching them up.
It definitely is like the worst one, at least for our team. I think if it was another team, they probably would have handled it a lot better than we did. But with us, it's like like Levi, then Juan acted like Levi, and then you're completely different and falling all over the place because your personality is to run in. This is my job.
Yeah.
And Al's body's not equipped for that.
Yeah, I was gonna say physically, the Horned Serpent got really tough. Like, because being small is one thing, but they can't move as fast when they're small, and there's so many things in the scary things that are larger than you when you're medium size, much less tiny.
And they've got the flying monster to try to catch.
And they have to catch the flying monster now. So physically, they were worse off than you guys. So yours definitely is more like psychologically harder.
Yeah. Except for the placebo one, they seem to. I love that they were like, what is it doing?
They were freaking out. What is it? What is it doing?
Well, we get like little flash scenes of maybe the other team and how they're faring.
Yeah, probably.
All right.
That'd be cool. Yeah, to see how just little bits of how they're doing in small form or like placebo form.
I mean, it's possible we could run into them too. I mean, maybe they stumble upon the temple.
I mean, if they also see a giant temple in the middle of the jungle, they might think to investigate. Who knows?
Versus, trying to go after their target, you mean?
Well, see, that's the thing. I don't know much about their creature. Like, what if their creature dwells in temples? I don't know.
Fenrir Greyback?
Oh, Greyback. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
That
Yes.
That was Chestnut.
I didn't like that because I knew it had to do with her brother. I was like, it's not the conversation with the brother. Yeah, we gotta hunt this guy down and kill him. I want him dead.
Yeah, I know.
But
I gathered. He was just gonna go up to try to test her and be like, "Hey, do you know this guy?" She would have been like, "What?"
Yeah, he was totally gonna go over there just to tell her pretty much everything and be like, "Hey." And I also kind of had like a picture in my head of being like, "How can we get to your hometown? Like, let's get him." I wrote it in the chat. Do you guys think that Greyback has the power bracelet, the strength one?
Yeah.
You think it's the one your dad took?
I mean, I think it's possible it could have
definitely.
any, but I think that makes most sense.
I reckon that's totally the one he has. And like, I wonder if Rox would have just let Alec go, I reckon he would have died. For sure.
Oh, maybe Greyback kills him?
Yeah,
Wonder who
absolutely.
Alec was. Did he say we? Like, who is he going with, or did he say I?
I imagine he was going to go with Anna.
He said we.
Him and Anna.
Said we.
Because I don't know if it's canon in this game, but Anna's also a werewolf.
A werewolf, yeah.
So I don't
But
know
like,
if it's canon.
she's the type that's like more there's 2 different types of werewolf that you can actually get, and I think it's like an actual lore thing. Remember Hale's telling me about it, and that like one's more controlled than the other, and then one changes at will and one changes with the moon. But it's not an
That's
anime,
what
it's a
Greyback
bit
is too,
different.
right? Because he's always a werewolf, and he's always kind of really strong and like always werewolfy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He can change at will, I believe.
I think he can
Greyback.
change it well, and I think by default he prefers
Yeah,
his werewolf form.
yeah. So
I feel like he's like halfway. By default, he's half because he's not completely a wolf.
yeah, he's not completely a werewolf.
But
Like yeah, he's a
He's a melding of the two, and I think
like a
that's
hybrid,
default.
some
Yeah.
sort of hybrid.
Yeah.
But yeah. So them hunting down Greyback wouldn't have been good. But it's okay because Greyback's hunting us down. He's in this jungle, obviously, and he killed the dragon. I think.
And now we have a dragon egg.
And now you have a dragon egg.
I'm
Yeah, that's gonna
wondering
be a ton
why.
of fun when it hatches in the middle of our battle.
bet that's
we
gonna
have to deal
happen.
with that problem.
I
Depends
wonder
on how many
why.
steps you make.
I love that.
We get on the bike and ride around
Just
fast.
run around
Gotta hatch
circles.
his egg.
I wonder
If
why
it hatches at night,
Bartholomew.
it's stronger.
What was that, Jordan?
Oh, sorry. I wonder why Bartholomew gave Alec his wand.
To
That-
give to Roxy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's something there.
Maybe he's got a plan to get out, and he wants to know where his wand's gonna be when he gets out.
Aren't they like brother ones?
Yeah.
Roxy's and Bartholomew's, unbeknownst to her, are actually brother wands. Have the same core.
Yeah.
Which would mean that, weirdly enough, Bartholomew's wand has a unicorn hair core. So, and because of that, it would no longer be, it is a high possibility his wand would no longer be loyal to him because of the core. And its allegiance would have probably changed.
Yeah. Which is weird that you haven't found a hoop yet, and it wasn't on the wand. I was for sure you were getting a hoop. Was
Yeah.
there? I guess this is a question we can ask Hark. Was there ever a point she was gonna get a hoop, or like did we miss it? Like if she would have opened this, she would have got a hoop, or if she did this, she would have got a hoop. Okay, so she has missed her hoop opportunity.
I'm not going to specify when and how, but there was an opportunity and that passed. There wasn't.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. But you also have to understand is I never like assign hoops to people.
Mhm.
Certain people find them, but it's up to you to decide who keeps them.
Yeah.
So I never actually said this is Albion's hoop or this is Levi's hoop.
Yeah.
You find it and the group just decides who.
Yeah,
keeps
we just
it.
kind of assigned it who found it.
Yeah.
That's it. But,
I made it a point to not assign it to anyone specifically.
We'll leave
Even
that try.
because you find hoops that are not even your zodiac symbol.
Mm.
So I think the only
Yeah.
person, Gemini is the only zodiac symbol that you guys all possess. I think all the other hoops so far, well, if you don't count Leo, has not been one of your own actual zodiacs.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
I don't know. We don't have the Leo one. We just know.
You don't
about
have the
it.
Leo one. You just knew about it.
Yeah. So.
So you have the Gemini one, but one is Gemini. Is that right?
Yeah.
He owns the Gemini one, and you have the Pisces one.
Right.
One.
One's a Sagittarius,
Sagittarius. Yeah.
So
So.
Juan himself is Gemini,
but
right?
Juan himself is Gemini.
Yeah. So. I wonder which one Rock's wearing now. That'd have been interesting.
Yeah.
We'll never
The
find out.
could you imagine if she got the mind control one?
That would be the worst mistake.
The time control one?
Maybe
It'd be
that's
like,
you can't answer. Like even if there weren't certain ways to get them, like if Rox were to get one, did you know which one it was going to be, or was that just kind of decided on the spot?
I knew, so, I mean, I knew which one Roxana could have stumbled upon
Right.
herself. Could have.
Could her stumbling upon us possibly stop Greyback from getting his?
Possibly. Possibly. Yes.
Possibly. Okay. So this is your fault, Rox. When we all die.
whoopsie.
Yeah. Okay. I like that.
But I mean, of all the, I guess, of it's of all of the poops, I don't know if you necessarily consider the Leo the most threatening of them all.
I do.
You think it's the most threatening?
Well, it's the one I want the most.
Well, okay.
The mind control one's the most threatening, and the time one.
The time travel, mind control is pretty bad.
Those two are crazy.
Yeah, those two are like the game-breaking ones. All the other ones are strong. Oh, a Thanos snap. Is that what we're doing? This is the Infinity War. He's gonna get all the hoops and Thanos snap us.
There we go. Aim for the head, Levi. Aim for the head. I should have aimed for the head.
I should have aimed for the head. Yeah, I got his shoulder.
It's funny. As much as I loved this scene, I couldn't help but feel vaguely uncomfortable during the Aika Roxy scene. Because even though I'm playing as a teenager and Roxy is 16, I'm like, I can't help but keep it in my head that like, Aika's like 17. I'm like
It's
20 and I'm like...
year difference. What? Your birthday's coming up. Am I already
You're
past?
basically a child to me, sorry.
Yeah.
Not interested. But Roxy is. So.
Roxy is, yeah.
Oh my god, I love that scene so much.
The day was nice. I liked it. I was hoping you'd finally kiss him, and it happened.
Yeah. I was waiting to see who would end up with the first kiss.
It surprised me that it's Roxy.
It did surprise me too. It did surprise. So I do have a question, and I don't know if you intended for this to be, like, revealed, but does Roxy still identify as asexual?
I would say
Because
quite
you
possibly, because it's just something that she never thought about, you know?
Because, to be 100% clear, you can be asexual, you can identify as asexual and still have companionship and still be in a romantic relationship with someone.
So I was just curious.
I reckon so, because I just, like, Roxana's one of those people where it's like, and not that it's strictly like, when it comes to that kind of intimacy, she would be totally like, no. It's just that that's not really the first thing on her mind. Which I know there are some asexual people out there who it's like, yeah, I do it, but I don't really care much for it. You know? And I imagine her to be one of those people because with her, it's very much, she's very driven by personality.
Mm-hmm.
Which is also why she would swing both ways, because it's like I see people more than I see like a gender.
Mm-hmm.
So personalities are always what matter most to her.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, like, I wonder if that would ever be like a thing that comes up, but I don't see how it would be, you know, like,
yeah,
because Aika seems like the kind of person who would be like,
I don't think Aika would care.
No, Aika wouldn't care. He'd be like, oh,
whatever.
He's just like, okay.
I will say though, my favorite, I think my favorite part, and I'm probably partial, was the let's make new secrets together.
Yeah. She was like, because part of like what she was going to say to him on the walk when she decided not to say anything was, you know, what happens when I run out of secrets to give you. You know, are you still going to be interested? Like, that's what she wanted to say, but then she was like, no, I'll ruin this really nice moment if I do that.
I actually felt bad for Aiko whenever you could tell he genuinely wanted to know the secrets if she was in danger. Like, he was actually giving her space. He wasn't pressing for the secrets.
But he wanted to know.
Yeah, and I felt bad because you could just tell, like, he accepted it, but it hurt.
Yeah.
I wanted you to both to tell him and not tell him, because I don't trust him. But at the same time, the way he acted, I was like, he just wants to protect you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Aika very much has a lot of respect for Roxana, and he never will tell Roxana what to do.
Yeah.
Because he always says, you're your own person, you're your own woman, do whatever you believe is right and your truth. Whatever is your truth, and so, but, you know, he will 100% be open and honest when he says, I don't like this. Like, you're keeping this secret from me.
He is a tourist.
But at the end of the day, it's your decision, and I will support your decision. So.
Yeah, I think it was an interesting conversation, and the way, like, he took, because she didn't really, like, break up with him, really.
No.
She was just like, I think we need to sort this out, and then we can talk about us, you know? but for now we're going to continue because they still left holding hands, you know. So it was just mainly like.
You're still having coffee the next day. So.
Yeah, exactly. So it was like he took it very much on the chin, where he was like, you know, you do you, sweetheart. Like,
yeah,
he's a very interesting person because you can kind of see, and I mean, like, I only say this because I know with the whole courage point system, and I imagine the NPCs have something similar with sticking to their personality traits, and if they get rewarded or things taken away for sticking to their personality traits. So I was looking into like traits of like commonly associated with zodiac signs, and out of everyone, Aika is the least like his. On the surface, anyway.
On the surface, anyway.
Because according to like a lot of astrology sites, Taurus is a hothead. Taurus and Aries are actually very alike in a lot of their personality traits, but Taurus is a little bit more reserved.
Yeah.
But the thing about like Aries is always fired up 100% of the time, no downtime. But Taurus, it's like when they blow up, they blow up. Yeah. Like
with for Aiko, when I was figuring out his personality, the piece of the Taurus zodiac that resonated with me for his character is Taurus is the most stable of all of them. Like he's even keel and things don't seem to faze him as much, and he doesn't like panic very easily. He's able to maintain composure. It's one of the earth. I think it's the strongest of the earth elemental zodiac symbols, and so that's the part of Taurus that I'm mostly like wrapping around for Aika, if that makes sense.
But I definitely like in that little conversation starting to see a bit of the duality. Mm-hmm. Because you can see he clearly struggled with, hey, why don't you just tell me? Like, you are really pulling my chin hairs here, like, what is up? But at the same time, trying to keep that, like, I'm going to let her have her agency, which I think was a difficult thing for him to do.
Yeah.
I thought she was going to ask him not to give us anything bad for the potions, but I'm kind of glad she didn't, because we would have missed all the entertainment.
Yeah, no, I don't think she'd ever ask that of him.
Yeah.
Because that would be unfair for her to do that. But
the potion was designed not to be malicious, but to be playful and entertaining. So it definitely was that.
I think in the end, couldn't be mad about that, because she can get it, you know? But Levi is going to get a hiding. Because that is unacceptable. That's unacceptable behavior.
We're in a hot jungle. I'll just try to look like Laura Croft.
Oh, you do have a really good conjure spell. You can conjure some clothing onto your body.
That's true.
As Albie did. Yeah.
No, but it was... That's my favorite. Just wait when you're not here.
Just Albion turning around going, cover up. It's like buttoning up the jacket and
like,
stop that.
No. It's like a teenage girl with her dad. Like, no, I'm going out with my friends, Dad.
So he's like, cover up.
For next session, do we have to answer the warm-up in the character's body that we're in? That could be interesting.
Sure, if you think you're prepared for that.
I mean, it depends on the question.
Oh, it was the same thing that he was saying for the confessional that we did. We're gonna have to do half in our body and the last half in the other.
Yeah, I'd like you to.
Yeah, that would be fun.
Yeah.
For the body switch one, I'm just gonna get Roxy to sit there like this. And just look dead ahead. And then just slowly look at the camera.
Kind of please. Yeah.
I can't wait to take Rox's shirt off next episode.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Is there anything else?
Tom's like, okay, we're putting a pin on this joke. It's not funny
Potion
anymore.
wears off.
Potion wears off. There we